All right, welcome to another Building Pulse. Thanks and for coming along. It's great to have you again. Today we're joined by Shaneel from Milliken, and most of you won't know who Milliken is. Some of you might, but I think a lot of people are wondering who on earth that is. So it's going to be awesome to hear a little bit about the company, what they do, what differentiates them, and what's their point of innovation. So yeah, thanks again for joining us. Like and subscribe as always, but more importantly, just spread the word. Tell someone you liked it and send it on. And also today, we also want to just thank DB Zorb, who's sponsoring today's podcast. And yeah, we really appreciate their support. So let's get into it. All right. Thanks for coming. Why don't
It's lovely to be here.
Yeah. Now you've come over from Sydney. You're based in Sydney, but Milliken is an American company. Do you want to give us a bit of a history of Milliken and
Sure.
for people? Assume people know nothing about it.
So Milliken started in 1865 in Maine, in the U.S. Currently, we are headquartered in South Carolina, in Spartanburg. The business has been going for over 160 years. Fifth generation family business. So
it's carpet.
Well, it's a diversified industrial company. So we have businesses in textiles, in chemicals, in flooring, and in healthcare. So it's a pretty diverse range of products that we make. In the US, they say that any given day you'd come across 50 products that has a Milliken component in it.
Wow.
So we do a range of things. If you look at textiles, we do things from table linen all the way to high-tech military gear. We do fire retardant fabrics for first responders and textiles in automotive in a variety of applications in sort of performance sportswear. Chemicals, we do everything from dyes, colorants, all the way to specific additives that make polypropylene transparent. So it's a pretty interesting business to be in.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw there wasn't that much carpet going down back in the 1860s.
Well, it started off as a general store.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's really fascinating because, I mean, some people react. I think New Zealanders have a reaction to these big American companies that are really diverse. But actually what I find fascinating is here we are, we're going to talk about carpet. All of those things within that entity are able to inform the product that you're producing. And it's inside knowledge because the company has so much breadth of knowledge across all its different entities. So that I find that really fascinating. I'm assuming that actually flows through into the product, you know?
Yeah, it does. We have at RMC, which is our global headquarters, we have an R&D team that is continuously focused on products that will enhance people's lives and reduce our environmental impact. So there's a lot of innovation that is shared across the business. Milliken is renowned for innovations and manufacturing excellence. And we have around 5,500 patents around the world. Wow. We actually, interestingly, one of our latest innovation was developed down the road in Hamilton, in New Zealand, which is the first time that anyone in either New Zealand or Australia has been able to recycle carpet into a new product. So, so that's you could claim a Kiwi element to that as well. So
brilliant.
Yeah.
And I mean, the other thing I'm guessing as well from all of those inputs and knowledges across the company is that you're thinking about sustainability and the broader environment probably in a bigger way than just recycling.
Yes.
It's about what is the actual fiber, what is the color, what are we using, what's going into it in the first place. Am I guessing right?
Well, we take sustainability in a more holistic approach,
Yeah.
because you can get tunnel vision into either it's carbon or recycling or one or the other.
Yeah.
What we look at is how do we look at the whole life cycle of the product, and how do we impact that across that whole life cycle.
Yeah.
So when you look at our carpet products, we start off with ensuring that whatever materials we put into it is not on the red list. So
Yeah,
it
right.
is free of chemicals of concern.
Yep.
And that's the basis of starting, because then you know that you can bring those products back into a closed loop scenario
Yeah.
without having to worry about legacy chemicals and
Yeah.
as such. So we start off by looking at what type of materials goes into it. And obviously there's a bigger component behind that as a philosophy within the company, that when we deal with other suppliers, there's a big focus on ensuring that everything is done ethically.
Yeah.
So we have a modern slavery program to ensure that our supply chain is free of that.
Yeah.
We then bring it to safe materials. Then we look at responsible manufacturing and how can we manufacture um, with a focus on reducing our carbon impact.
Yeah. Right.
So right now we are carbon neutral, where we buy carbon credits to offset our impact. So if you look at it, while we are reducing our carbon impact, we are also penalizing ourselves for not going fast enough
Yeah. Right.
by having to buy the credits. So
Yeah.
as we go through the future innovations, we want to get to a point where our impact is minimal. And Milliken was one of the first 50 companies that had the net zero targets verified by SBTi.
Wow.
So
And that's across the group.
across the whole group, yes. So that's sort of, in responsible manufacturing. That's around our impact on carbon, our impact on recycled materials. All these things play a big part. Then a big next component that we look at is around design for disassembly and reuse.
Yeah.
And you'd find that underneath this product that's on the floor here, there won't be any glue.
Yeah, right.
So we have innovation that we have developed for the carpet products, where we can install the carpet without any glue on the floor.
Yeah, right.
So that ensures that if you wanted to, you could pack this up and reuse it somewhere
Yeah,
else.
I noticed when they arrived and the guys were putting it down, they came back to back. So there's glue on the tile, but they weren't having to apply anything to the floor.
Yeah, there's a proprietary adhesive system that we use
Yeah.
that doesn't transfer onto the floor.
Yeah.
But
is that unique? Is anyone else doing that?
No, that's unique to us.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. So this is part of the innovation sort of that comes across from the work that we do across the company.
Because there's a lot, I mean, particularly in corporates, right? We're involved with a project for the government for new offices down there. And when you think about a building like that, every 3 years, they've got a change in tenancy. Even if the same party gets back in, there's always a reshuffling of offices and things like that. So they're designing the building with that in mind. But products like this, that's A, it's got to last, so that's key. And then B, that reusability, because it's not always about end of life, right? Sometimes it's just actually about being able to reuse the stuff.
Yeah, I think I guess what we're doing is we're challenging the sort of industry norm where everything had to be glued down, and the end of life scenarios weren't sort of looked at the beginning of that process.
Yeah.
And what we are saying is that we offer a 20-year warranty on our product.
Yep.
And the reason we offer that is we are confident that it'll last.
Yeah.
And so why do we need to take it out halfway through its life and put it into landfill when you could reuse it again?
Yeah.
And now with our recycling program, we guarantee that none of our product will go into landfill.
Yeah, wow.
So it's a pretty dynamic sort of offer that we go to market with.
Yeah.
And it's unique to us because it's something I think hasn't been really a focus in the industry. And the more we can keep resources in play for longer is better for the environment and also better for the customer as well, because they're getting a longer life cycle out of their products.
Yeah.
Mm.
And is there anything else? What else are you guys doing that is innovative, point of difference, pushing the envelope in terms of the carpets?
Well, we have two key types of technology. One is our Printworks technology,
Okay.
and the other is our tufting SDN technology. So we're unique in the sense that we have got these two different ways that we can make product.
Yeah. So what are they?
So
Explain that.
SDN is basically the tufting technology. There is where the pattern is tufted into the carpet,
Right.
whereas the Printworks technology is where we print the pattern on top of the carpet.
Okay, you're going to have to give that to me in layman's terms. What does tufted mean?
So it's where the machine needles pretty much create the pattern.
Right.
And so that's the tufted part. The Printworks is where it's like a printer you have at home.
Yeah. So you maybe start with white carpet and then it's printed,
and the colors
whatever.
printed on it.
And
Milliken invented the technology over 50 years ago,
Wow.
and it's been a game changer for us
Yeah.
in terms of how we are able to create pattern and color, and the ability to do it efficiently.
Yeah.
Has been great. And then what we do across Australia and New Zealand is a real focus on trying to support local designers.
Yes.
In Australia, we have a program called Reconciliation Through Design, where we work with Indigenous designers and artists to take their art and create carpet products, and from that, the artist gets royalties for the life of the while we are selling the carpet.
Great.
And then some years ago, we started a program here in collaboration with the Designers Institute of New Zealand, where we created a competition called To the Floor.
Yeah.
Where New Zealand designers were given the opportunity to submit entries, and the winning entry they collaborated with our design team and created a carpet collection, which got sold around the world.
Is this what we are
You
on?
actually,
One of them?
Yeah, we are sitting on one of those. This was designed at that time by a young artist or designer who was based in Palmerston North.
Wow.
And she won the competition that year, and this collection's now been going for about 4 years.
Yeah. Awesome.
And we pay a royalty every quarter to the artist.
She must be enjoying that because it's a tough life as an artist. Certainly for an ongoing income.
Yeah,
very
difficult. It's if I was in my 20s and had a quarterly check, I'd be very happy.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, and then most recently we have released a collection called Paharakeke, which is a collaboration with a Maori designer in New Zealand who won the latest To the Floor competition.
That's a really unique kind of approach to carpet tiles. I suspect most companies, I don't know how they come up with their designs, but they're probably not engaging artists.
Yeah, well, the program actually started. So when we talked about sustainability before, when we look at sustainability holistically, we also look at the social part of it.
Yeah.
And for us, it is very important that we are supporting the community that we work in.
Yeah.
So when we create programs like Reconciliation Through Design and like the competitions in New Zealand, it was about supporting local talent and giving them a platform that you have the ability to showcase your designs on a global scale.
Yeah.
So that's sort of something that we can promote, and it's good to be able to do that at a local level.
Yeah.
Then we have a design team. We have a group based in Sydney, one in Shanghai, in the US, in UK. So we have a large design network that are Milliken designers that are continuously designing new product.
Yeah. Right.
So there's I guess the global scale of things, and then we focus locally on how we can support local talent as well.
And then I understand you even offer the option of an architect or designer designing their own
Yes.
pattern or
Yeah.
style or.
Yeah, there's in this part of the world, about 50% of our work is customized,
Wow.
and that's where the architect and designers work with our sales team,
Yeah.
and they will either recolor an existing pattern or they will create something from scratch.
Yeah. Wow.
And that is unique to that particular project.
And you're obviously doing it cost efficiently, because I imagine in the past doing anything bespoke like that would have cost a fortune, and most companies would be like, great, yeah, we can do that for you. But you're obviously doing it for 50% uptake. That's huge.
Yeah, the real difference there for us, or competitive advantage, is that we are able to offer very low minimum order quantity, so
Yeah.
100
Right.
square meters,
Oh gosh.
that allows you to customize anything you like.
Yeah.
And that
That's
then
nothing.
allows the project teams to utilize that service
Yeah.
a lot more. And it's some of the things that has been done has just been amazing. And in New Zealand, there's been some really prestigious projects like the Kina that has used customized carpet
Yeah.
throughout the facility. So it's a very unique service that is provided, but we have the back end manufacturing efficiencies that we can provide that service in
And
a cost effective way.
where's your manufacturing taking place?
In Sydney.
Okay.
So we have a manufacturing facility in Sydney that supports Australia and New Zealand.
Yep.
But we also have our network across the world.
Yeah.
So we do bring in product from China, from our Shanghai factory, from the US, from UK.
Yep.
So it's a truly sort of global offer where
right.
we are able to provide the clientele what they need from across the world.
And how long have you been operating in New Zealand?
The company, so Milliken, before us was a company called Onterra,
Yes.
and that Milliken bought in 2015.
Okay.
So Milliken as a brand has been here since 2015.
Right.
Before that, there was a brand that used Milliken technology
Okay.
to service the market.
Yeah, I was going to say that might be a name people know. And how have you got on with, there's plenty of New Zealand carpet companies. How have you guys got on in terms of any pushback from being the outsiders or, a big American company and coming to kind of compete with the Kiwis? Do you get any pushback in that area or?
Well, there's very little manufacturing that happens in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So there's I think New Zealand design has been pretty open to overseas trends and overseas companies, and actually it's been at the leading edge of a lot of things. So
What do you mean by that?
So where I think Kiwis tend to look more broadly across the world to look at what innovation that can be brought here.
Yeah.
So I feel that there isn't that sort of concern around where a company is headquartered or I think it's more on the basis that there's bringing in good design.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
bringing
clearly
in innovation.
you're trying to work with local markets. You're working with local designers. Sydney's probably about as close as you're going to get manufacturing wise. I would say certainly carpet tiles, right? So there's no carpet tiles manufactured in New Zealand. The rest are probably coming from Europe and Asia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the most of it is imported, and a lot of it is represented by different agencies.
Yeah.
So Milliken, we are one of the few that have our own representation in country.
Okay, and so in New Zealand, who heads up the New Zealand side of things?
So our regional manager for New Zealand is Jodie Mickelson.
Okay.
She's been with us. She migrated from the company that was bought by Milliken,
Gotcha.
and she's a superstar that we have here.
So she's been in the space for a long time.
Yeah.
And a lot of people probably already know her, eh?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. she's an amazing asset for
Yeah.
Milliken in country.
And tell me something. Tell me, what are you most proud of as a company in this area in the Australia New Zealand market, or ideally specifically New Zealand? What's something that you're really proud of achieving or doing uh, here?
I think the recognition that Milliken as a company is a fantastic company to deal with.
Right.
We've been awarded one of the world's most ethical companies for around 19 years in a row.
Wow.
Um, and it's been great building the new Milliken brand in New Zealand,
Yeah.
so people can see the innovation that we bring
Yeah.
to the industry.
Amazing.
Mm.
So that's a long time. I'm like 19 years. That's kind of going back to the start when we first started really worrying about ESG and environmental and all of these things. Um, clearly it's ingrained into the DNA of the company, and it's something that's really flowing through. It's not tokenistic. It's not about how do we tick these boxes of ESG. It's actually been embedded into the culture of the company.
Yeah, it is something that we are very proud of, and it's at the end of the day, it's like a family company.
Yeah.
We have the ethics are very strong. Our values. We start off with the key of doing the right thing, and that flows through everything we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
What are your hopes for Milliken in the New Zealand market? What's the goal?
well, the goal is to obviously grow in
Yeah.
the market here, and I think as the clientele here are seeing what we can offer and get the and aware of all the attributes that we bring.
Yeah, I was going to say, what do you think is um, what's like one or two things that you think that the New Zealand market perhaps misunderstand or just don't actually know about Milliken as a company and what it offers and what it does?
I think the work we do locally
Right.
in terms of working with designers, creating product. We have Ashley Oswald that
Yep.
did the first collection with us, and then with Anya,
Yep.
where we collaborated on the second collection. And then there's this opportunity further on for other local designers and artists to collaborate with us. So this local work that we do, the innovation part of it is strong. To have a company based in Hamilton collaborate with a global manufacturer like Milliken to create an innovation that is the first in the world.
Yeah.
It's an amazing achievement.
So tell us a bit more about that product.
So it's a product that we created, which is made from 80% carpet waste and 20% soft plastic waste.
Yeah.
We partnered with a company called Saveboard,
Okay.
which has been in operation in New Zealand and in Australia.
Yep.
And we developed a resilient product that replaces your traditional PVC-based LVT. So product made completely of waste.
Wow.
And it can be recycled over and over again.
Yeah, wow.
And we call it ReNashi, which
ReNashi.
in Latin means to be born again.
Huh.
Yeah.
And where are you seeing that applied? What sort of applications?
So we see that currently there's the applications have been in mainly office type of environments, where in kitchens, some clients have used it in boardrooms, some in reception areas, end of trip type of facilities. So it's got a varied sort of application, really. And where you need flooring, you can use that.
Yeah, obviously. And it's a harder flooring as opposed to your carpet, so it's in that.
Yeah, it has actually got quite good sort of acoustic values because it's got 80% carpet waste in it. So, but yeah, it is a resilient flooring.
Yeah, fascinating.
Yeah.
And that's probably a game changer, because I understand from other suppliers, even when they're trying to do a recycled program, it's often containerizing and shipping it back to the manufacturer, which is sometimes in Europe or Asia, so to be able to recycle it locally, that's huge.
Yeah, it's I think if you have to rely on sending it overseas, it's
Yeah.
not a very commercially viable process.
No.
And we also looked at, while we were developing this program, which incidentally took 2 years of R&D
Yeah.
to get there. While we were developing this process, what we wanted to do was ensure that we could provide product stewardship through the whole life cycle of the
Yes.
product. So when we install product, there's always offcuts
Yeah.
that generally goes to landfill.
Yeah.
So we now take those offcuts back
Yeah.
into our recycling stream
Yeah.
right at the beginning of the life.
Yeah.
And then at the end of life, we take the product back and recycle it into ReNashi.
And making that key, like making that easy is always the key, right? And I mean, how does that work in terms of the cost? Because that's always a kicker, is getting it to the recycling facility. There's a cost in terms of that shipment. Do you guys kind of factor that in, or how does that work?
So there is a logistics cost,
Yeah.
which is a minimal cost that clients have to pay for
Yeah.
a pickup service.
But I suppose it's probably not a lot different to your tippage
Yeah,
cost anyway.
it's pretty in terms of the cost associated with getting it back compared to your landfill cost. It's probably around the same.
Okay.
Then the key part here is that a lot of times what happens is when you're trying to recycle things, especially with a partnership approach, you don't want to be in a position where you've taken all this waste and given it to someone else and say that's your problem now.
Yeah.
So the way we had developed this was that we will bring this waste back, get it processed with our partner Safeboard, and then buy the product back from them.
Right.
So that way there isn't a financial burden on the partner to then look for new markets where we are bringing it back into our supply chain.
And
to
it
our
also,
market.
it keeps the onus on you to ensure that the product is really sellable at the other end.
Yes.
Because we see that a lot where products are, recycled and turned into, yes, a usable product, but there's not a huge demand for them. And so, clearly you guys are going, well, we think it's great and we're going to really drive it as a product line, not just because it's recycled, but because we think it's a great product.
Yeah, and the key for us was to make a product that was part of our normal day-to-day business, so that we didn't have to have a different, I guess, value stream. So by making another flooring product, it just fits in with what we go to market with.
Yeah, interesting. One of the things I've noticed since your carpets have gone down here at the hub is, well, immediately I noticed there's a softness to it. It didn't feel like a hard corporate tile. It's wearing well, like your roller chairs move around on it fine, but it doesn't feel hard. It's got a bit of cushioning to it. That it feels much nicer for us to be on, but I think it's also adding to the acoustic performance of it. You guys have an acoustic, really high acoustic values for a lot of your products. Tell me more about the acoustic values of the Milliken carpets.
Yeah, our key or point of difference that we have with our carpet tiles is that we make it standard with a cushion backing.
Right.
And that cushion back is a recycled foam that we use, which then gives us incredible acoustic properties.
Yeah, right.
So the cushion back tiles would generally be around 50% quieter than your hardback tiles.
Yeah, right.
So, and then if you look at your underfoot comfort, the muscle fatigue walking on the carpet is about 25% less than a hardback.
Yeah.
So
those are much more technical terms than I use because it just feels nice. But interesting.
So yeah, while there is an aesthetic element. There's also the technology that goes into creating that as a standard.
Yeah.
So when you get a product, you get all these benefits that come with it. So it's the anti-fatigue because it's got cushion. It's the acoustic values because it's got cushion.
Yeah.
And when you put cushion carpet with the rest of the acoustic products into a room,
Yeah.
we can feel here the sound factor here is really good.
Yeah. And all of that standard. Pretty
Yep,
much all your
it's
products have that.
standard in our product. You don't pay an upcharge for
Yeah,
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
Tell me about Shaneel. Tell me a little bit about your journey. How did you end up working for Milliken?
Yeah, well, I grew up in New Zealand,
Yeah.
in Auckland. Still a proud All Black supporter and
Good.
Auckland rugby. I can think of the days when we used to go to Eden Park, and it wasn't about if Auckland would win; it was about how much would Auckland win by. So those were the good old days.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I always wanted to live in Melbourne, and after finishing my MBA at Auckland Uni,
Yep.
I moved to Melbourne, and then I fell into sort of the flooring industry, and have been part of that for the last 20 odd years. So I worked for different manufacturers,
Yeah.
global manufacturers, and then about 7 years ago, I joined Milliken as the MD for Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm.
That's awesome to
Mm.
hear. Yeah. Do you still have family and connections back here, or everyone's kind of over in Aussie now?
My brother lives here,
Yeah.
and I still have friends from my days here. So
Yeah.
it's good to always come back and catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'd be nice to be now working for a business that's also over here and part of your territory. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So New Zealand is still very dear to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you play all that very cool, but it's actually quite cool. That's a wonderful success story in terms of going on to lead what is actually a really big company. So well done.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think it's awesome because New Zealand's a pretty small pond, and it's hard to kind of not just get ahead, but it's awesome to see New Zealanders and Kiwis going over and leading big companies, and it's awesome, especially when those companies are still operating here and there's a connection. So yeah, that's cool. I had done a little bit of research on your website, and I can see overseas, obviously, you're doing some broadloom stuff, but in this area, everything is carpet tiles. But it also seemed like you are maybe pushing outside of just the commercial space. We always think about carpet tiles pretty much exclusively for commercial, maybe a little bit of education, but certainly not residential. But I understand you guys are starting to pick up a little bit of residential work as well.
Yeah, we so office is still the biggest part
Yep.
of the business. Education is a strong user of carpet tiles
Wow.
because
Yep.
of the flexibility and the performance.
Yep.
But more recently, we are branching into hospitality.
Okay.
So a lot of hotels are now using carpet tiles.
Yes.
Again, for the benefits that carpet tiles provide.
Yeah.
So there's, I guess, moving closer to residential, we do apartments. There's a lot of usage in apartments,
Yeah.
especially in the common areas
Yeah.
where there's high traffic. Carpet tiles are used. And then residential, we haven't really, the value proposition for carpet tiles was originally developed years ago for residential, where if you damage a carpet tile, you pick it up and replace it.
Yeah.
But it's never really taken off in
Really?
residential. Although I have it in my home and it's
Well, and
fantastic
that's
to
the
use.
thing. I'm like, well, if it felt like this does, I'd be much more open to having it in my home as opposed to what I've known as carpet tiles. And there's no way I'd want to.
Yeah.
Certainly wouldn't want to be getting down and wrestling the kids on the normal carpet tile.
Yeah. I think carpet tile design has come a long way.
Yeah.
And now we have product that can easily be used in a home.
Yeah. What about, because the other challenge is, patterns like this, they look great in an office, but they're probably pretty loud in a home. Can you make carpet tiles work with simpler patterns?
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah,
We have the bulk of our sales are simple patterns,
yeah.
so they are a
And you're
lot of
still
products.
able to hide the joints, so you're not seeing.
Yeah, there's a lot of product we make where you would not be able to tell it's
Yeah,
a carpet tile when you first
yeah,
look at it.
okay,
There are other products we make where we pronounce that it is a
yeah,
carpet tile, so that you can see how it's a carpet tile. But there's a lot of product that's seamless that
yeah.
is very hard to tell.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me, particularly in investment properties, build to rent. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer if you can get a carpet like this that looks right and is hard wearing, and all those benefits of replacing a piece or
Mm.
whatever. That's ideal. Yeah,
Yeah, the ability to replace just a component of it is
yeah,
probably the biggest value proposition for residential.
yeah. Well, mate, appreciate your time and coming and sharing the Milliken story. I find it fascinating. I think it's where we looked at that broad piece around the company and everything else it does and how it's flowing through. I think it's really unique, and I can pick up in what we've talked about in terms of the end product, the culture, the performance, the ESG, and it's particularly recyclable, and all of that stuff is flowing through. So it's pretty impressive. And yeah, it's great to have you guys here in the hub. And if you haven't been here in a while, we've recently had Milliken carpets. There's now 10 different carpets, including the ReNashi flooring tile that we've got. So come in and see us. Come and see what we're talking about. It's a real good idea in terms of getting the feel of what I'm talking about. It doesn't feel like a normal carpet tile. It feels nice and soft. And so you'll see that we're not just spinning rubbish about how applicable it could be in a residential, particularly built to rent situation. And if you can time your visit with when Jodie is in, I'm sure she'd love to meet you all and tell you more about the product. But Shaneel, thank you for your time and appreciate you coming on board. And yeah, wishing you all the best and looking forward to kind of partnering with you guys a bit more and telling the story wider.
Thank you. It's been wonderful and nice chatting with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
excellent. All right, well, thanks again, and like and subscribe and share the word. And thanks for joining us. And we will catch you on the next one. Cheers.